Hello there! On my birthday live stream, I showed off these little alternatives to Brickheadz that I think will be perfect for adults. But since that live stream, I have built all 4 of these, so let's get straight into it and take a look. Here we have almost the entire collection from LNO, and I do believe you're unable to purchase these straight from the website. The one character I am missing is R2-D2. I might end up looking out, see if I can pick that up. We have a Stormtrooper, which is the first one that I built, so we'll get to that in just a second. Darth Vader, Yoda, and BB-8 from the sequel trilogy. So we've got a nice mix of prequel, original, sequel, and I guess another original trilogy here. Nice range of characters, and those numbers on the front are actually the identifiers. I guess the Stormtrooper would be first, then we got BB-8, then we got Vader at 120, 121, and I am willing to bet that R2 is either 122 or 117 just before this Stormtrooper here. Either way, I thought they were the piece counts. No, the piece counts are just below it. If you can take a look just below that 1x1 brick, which is not to scale, they are a little smaller than that. 305 pieces, 267, 320, and then not too far behind, 318. It does show you on the side of one of these boxes, not that side, trust it to be the last side, we can see the sizes of these bricks. So again, not to scale, but it is showing you that brick on the left is 6mm tall and that brick on the right is 3mm tall. These things are tiny. Take a look at those tiny bricks compared to this Lego 2x2. I mean, that's a 2x3 and it's looking like a 1x1.5. Just before we take a look at the actual miniature brick figures themselves, I just want to show you that compared to a regular Lego Brickheadz, the boxes are the height of the Brickheadz, and the boxes are actually just shorter than the characters themselves and about the size of this Grogu make and take that we've only just taken a look at. So the boxes are a little bit more efficiently packed than Lego Brickheadz, but the instructions are much harder to follow. Let's take a look at that Stormtrooper. Compared to the Lego instructions we're used to seeing in Lego sets, this is more of a brick building pamphlet, which is why I recommend this for veterans of the brick, despite the 14+ age rating on the box. You can see we're not even like the West Ham ones, building layer by layer, but sometimes up to 3-4 layers at a time. And the hardest part to follow is we've got some reference bricks there in black, so that should be fairly easy to do. The next step, oh, hold on. They've made everything this very light minty green color, which definitely confuses things. And they've probably done this to try and stop, for especially colorful builds, this Stormtrooper's quite, well, it is basically plain white with a few details. They've probably tried to make this less confusing, but I'm not entirely sure it helps when the Stormtrooper helmet just looks like a giant iceberg. The Titanic might want to watch out. That being said, a 14-year-old can definitely build these. They aren't too complicated. There's no floating bricks and not really much space to complicate it when you look at how small this is. And I'll bring back the Mandalorian at the end just to show you how big they are compared to Brickheadz, but they will fit alongside your collections. And one of my favorite things is, unlike Brickheadz, we spoke about this in the past, these characters do have posable arms, and we've even got a real snazzy blaster. This is the equivalent if Minecraft gave us cubes that were an 1/8 size of the block, which I know I've been asking for a while, but it completely changes the game. The second character I built was this Darth Vader, and I think the two of them do go really well, though you can see the more parts on the Trooper have definitely been made to deepen that helmet. It would have been nice if Vader had a slightly thicker helmet, but I'm also a big fan of that brick cape that you can see is held on at 2 points of connection, so they might not be as strong as Lego, but these bricks are still pretty sturdy. The way you build these is you start off with the torso, and then you build the arms, then you build the head, and at some point on around the last steps, you attach it to the base. But I built it on the base straight away. You can take a look at the end of the instructions. It tells you how many studs in. It actually gives you a side profile and a front profile, so you know how far the legs are stuck on the base, how far the head's stuck on the neck, and it really allows for more than just one angle. Imagine if Lego positioned the Trooper like this and you had to just guess how you put the head on. The smallest elements in here you can see with Darth Vader here. On that lightsaber, those 1x1s, which are 1/8 of the size of a stud, although these bricks are definitely a bit taller. The ratio of width or length to the height of these bricks does differ a little bit to Lego. Completely out of the numerical order of, you know, parts, identifiers, however you want to order these, the next character I built was Yoda. And this is where things start to get really, really creepy. I know Brickheadz do size up Yoda, R2 and Grogu compared to the characters, but Yoda's actually taller than even Darth Vader. The difference is very, very slight, but it's because of those studs on Yoda's head that Yoda is actually taller. They're all pretty much the same, and whilst we're down at this level, you can see the same 1x1 bricks used for Vader's lightsaber, used for that mouthpiece there. We've got some snot bricks for the side, which are at the size that Lego's only just come out with, and as I said, these bricks are so old you can't buy them from the original website. Yoda, however, looks a little angrier, and perhaps this is during his fight with Count Dooku, because it does look like Yoda is gritting their teeth. But I am a big fan of how they've worked the eyes and just the general dimensions they've put. Look at the torso as well. You can see Yoda's belt is sticking out just a little bit, and again, like with all of them, we've got posable arms, so Yoda can actually fight Darth Vader. Last but certainly not least, we have some sequel representation. So already this is in my good graces with BB-8, who doesn't attach and is the only one that doesn't attach to the base. The base here is just built to hold the, I guess, the circle at the bottom of BB-8, which most of these are all around the side are decorated with 1x1 bricks. So this is the most fiddly of the lot, which is why despite the highest piece count out of all of them, I think it was next to the Stormtrooper, you can see the Stormtrooper's definitely a bit bigger. That's because BB-8 has a load of these little parts, even on the top of the head, though they do have one of those arm joints in the eye socket, which you can actually put a brick in. I would love Lego to have done that, but I think we're too far down the line for that. A similar 1x1 in a translucent black, translucent brown, just next to this eye, just over here, which might have been nice to have seen that 2x2 in the same color, but I really like the fact you can pop this one off because the others are really hard to detach from their base. Well, now we've got the 4 of them built, let's give it a go. So I'm going to try and pick up these characters from their feet, but I mean, the Stormtroopers held down so well, it looks like they've been involved in maybe some rebel activity. Let's blame the rebels. For Yoda, this is going to be impossible because Yoda's got 4 plates down on his feet, and we've accidentally beheaded Yoda. Okay, let's try it with Darth Vader. The problem with Vader is you have to pinch the cape, which I feel like he's going to knock that cape off, but we'll try to keep Vader's head on. And there you go, that's a bit more successful, but like I said, the cape does go. So you can't really take these off the base without having to rebuild them, and unlike the ICExcle sets, you don't come with brick separators. You don't get brick separators in the box, though those brick separators for any of you with ICExcle sets are compatible. And just to show you how easy this is, look. BB-8 pops right off, and perhaps we could have included a similar mechanism for the feet of the other 3 characters. Being a master builder myself, it takes no time to put these back together, and I do think the main grab of these characters is both the extra detail included in making them look, well, less like Lego and more like the characters, and also their much, much cheaper price, especially picking these up on the aftermarket. You'll get these for a couple of quid compared to the £10 that Lego would sell them individually. If you are worried about losing any of these elements, there really is no need because you get a ton, not just 1 of each brick, but sometimes 2, 3, up to 4 of each brick spare in each of these boxes. Which of course makes a lot of sense given their size relative to a Lego brick. I mean, 6 2x4s to make a 2x2, that's crazy. Having built my fair share of these tiny micro brick alternatives to Lego, they can be quite complicated. I personally haven't had a problem, but I've had a load of family members now that have tried building some other brands of these, and it does take a lot of patience. So if you do not share traits with the Jedi and are more Sith, I'd recommend looking at the Lego Brickheadz. In the aftermarket, you can get them for cheaper than Lego sell them, and also bricking them together without using those printed parts helps to keep the cost down a lot. But that being said, if you do have a lot of patience, if you like puzzles and physical puzzles with pieces rather than, you know, video games on your phone that are also considered puzzles, I definitely recommend giving these a go if you can find them. And if not, well, the company still actually sells a lot, and I mean a lot of Pokemon. There were like 2 pages full of ones that I have no idea how to pronounce. But that's been all for this video. If you've enjoyed, drop a like. Thank you so much for 5,000, 6, 7, 8. Are we at 10,000 yet? Because at 10,000 subscribers, I'm building a UCS set of your choice. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. It will be built entirely on a live stream. No doubt about that. Until then, may the bricks be with you always.